Our next candidate for the United States Senate will be Greg Fischer. Greg, welcome.
Thank you all very much. It's great to be in Owensboro here today, the epicenter of international barbecue cuisine. So our whole team here is really looking forward to tasting the fares as we get along. I'm a lifelong Kentuckian, 50 years old enough to know something, but young enough still to get after it, because there's plenty of things that we have to get after. I'm speaking to you from the perspective of a father of 4 teenagers, a guy that's built plenty of businesses, and a community servant. I'm saying, I've never been a politician. I don't want to be a politician, but I've always been a public servant, and I want to be your public servant in the United States Senate. Because we got plenty of things that we need to work on these days, folks, and you've heard a little bit about them today. But I want us to focus more on the element of leadership as it relates to these issues. I'm running for this office for the United States Senate because I'm fed up about the direction of the country, but I'm fired up to do something about it. And as I travel the state, I see plenty of people fired up. I see folks asking themselves, and I ask myself, what is happening to the middle class, to the working families, to the working poor in America right now? We are under economic attack like never before. And George Bush, Mitch McConnell, stand silently by as the great middle class of our country shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And the problem is, when it's shrinking, it's not moving up, it's moving down. We've lived in America the last 8 years where the country has grown economically. But the issue is, not all Americans are sharing in this prosperity. And I believe in an America where everyone shares when they work hard, because that's the kind of America that people look to for hope and a future where they see promise for their kids and their grandkids, and that's where our economic policies should be directed to, and that's where I'll work for as your United States Senator. I'll work for universal health care for everyone. Imagine if you're struggling, you've lost your job. What comes next usually? It's your health care. The number of people that have talked to me throughout this campaign the last 6 months that have talked about their woes of losing their job, and their health care comes after, and them having to make a decision on whether their son stays in college or they provide health care to their wife. This is America. We're a country that's blessed. We shouldn't have to make those choices. So we can get to work on national health care. We spend over $2 trillion, $7,500 for every man, woman, and child in this country on health care. So we can figure out a way where everybody gets good health care in this country. We just need to go to work and apply some common sense to Washington, D.C., because when you look at these problems, it seems we lack common sense. Another tragic example is the war. We've been in Iraq now longer than we were in World War II, longer than we were in the Civil War. And our president cannot clearly articulate what our mission is in Iraq, yet we continue to lose sons and daughters. That's unconscionable. It's shameful. We went into this war on false pretenses. We need to bring our troops home safely and responsibly, transition the government to the Iraqis, and invest in our country. Now, not only are we in this war, but we have a president and a senior senator, and Mitch McConnell, that should be addressing the root cause of why we're there. Oil, and our country's addiction to oil. Unfortunately, we've lost our freedom as the United States of America because we're dependent on hostile areas of the world for our energy sources. Yet George Bush, Mitch McConnell are silent on this. Again, it's an area, folks, where we need leadership. They should be yelling from the loudest mountaintops that we need our independence back. And here's how each one of us can participate in becoming independent on our energy needs. Because as I travel the state, and we talk about these problems, I don't see people that are despondent and ready to give up. I see people that have strength in their eyes, conviction in their hearts, determination in their minds, that are saying, we are Americans. We are Kentuckians. Yes, we're facing some problems right now, but there's no problem that's too big with the right leadership and the right plan to get us out of this. And that's the world that I believe in. That's the Kentucky that I believe in. So we need to change our leadership in Washington, D.C. to get this kind of hope back in Kentucky and back in the United States, because there's nothing that we can't do. Now, over the last 3 months or so, I've been traveling our great state east to west, north and south, 20,000 miles about in the last 3 months. And I'm hearing these same issues all around the state, and I'm seeing the same determination all around the state. So I do have hope, and I do have promise that we're going to get this done. People just want government back to focus on us, not the special interests that have been running Washington, D.C. for the last 8 years. We need to recapture the government to what its purpose is, and that's elevating each and every one of us. We need a candidate that is a clear contrast to Mitch McConnell. I believe I'm that candidate. I have a history of growing companies, of creating jobs, a clean history. I've got a clean political record as well. I have a record as being a public servant, and I'll continue to be your public servant as I solve some of these great problems that face our country right now. I'm a candidate that you can trust, but I need your help. I can't do this alone. Our campaign has tremendous momentum right now, and it's shaken up the establishment. But I'm not running for this office to please the establishment. I'm running for this office for the people of Kentucky. To close, just a personal story. I was raised in a family on 2 simple values, and that's why I'm running for this office. My mom's value is simple. If you have the opportunity to help somebody, you help them. My dad's value was everybody deserves the same dignity and the same respect under the eyes of God and the United States Constitution. And it's that platform that compels me to run for the United States Senate so we can get some common sense back in Washington, D.C., get the focus back on us, the people. So I ask for your support, and thank you for having me here today. Thank you.